on now. Okay. Oh man, I need to take away all this Sebastian stuff. Alright guys, welcome to 2.5 Crows episode 19. Episode 19. Don't watch what I have here. A lot of these images are just wrong that I need to remove. But we got Oni and Sky here actually. There we go.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Crow's not here, unfortunately. I think she's still asleep. I tried to wake her up. That did not work. She may come later, who knows? She's in dreamland right now. But yeah. If you guys have any questions, just post them in the chat.
I'll be right back. I'll take my food here.
Go for it. So starting off, I think a good question to ask concerning what day it is today. Do you guys typically do EXP events? Like when they pop up?
Wait. Sorry, give me a sec.
Mm-hmm. Here, I can answer it while you get a sec here. I think for me, I don't do it as often or as intensely as I should. Like, at most, I'll do like a full stamina bar, and then I'm just like, I'm done. And that's mostly because I just don't like Trost's Nest, which is like the main EXP grinding kind of area. Like, I don't know. That's just not a fan of that dungeon, so I don't do it as much. Like, for example, I feel like, at least for me, if like Train or if like Ice Rite was the EXP dungeon, I think I would have more like enjoyable time doing EXP events. It's just mainly I don't like Trosh. So.
Oh. Sorry, I'm eating right now, so I
That's
sound
okay.
like my mouth is. Yeah. I actually completely forgot that we have an EXP event.
Oh yeah, no, you know what? I forgot too until my guildie started talking about it.
Oh. Yeah. Oh god. I could have hit 400 ERP today. Anyway, on topic. Yes, I do grind. Or at least when I don't forget. I do grind. I think going off what Meteor said about Trosh, like, I think Trosh is the dungeon that I've enjoyed grinding like the most out of every single dungeon that I've ever grinded. So the dungeons that I've grinded would have been like Heart of Behemoth, Multiple Reaper, 11-4, 2&A, and out of all the EXP dungeons that I've done, like Trosh is by far my favorite. I think a really big part of it is how quickly you can clear it. Well, at least like for me, like fast clear is one of the most satisfying things in the world for me. So just being able to consistently pop out like 1 minute 40s or something is really, really, I don't know. Like,
no, I agree. Yeah, I agree actually. Like, if we're comparing Trosh to Lab, I'm taking Trosh any day, 100%.
I'll take Trosh over 2&A too. That place makes you chug like crazy.
Yeah. Shadow Vein. I enjoy Shadow Vein, but yeah, that it gets annoying after a while. Like sometimes with a good party, I'll use maybe 2 or 3 pots in a Trosh run, like maybe.
Yeah. Especially because it's so short. Now, like
Yeah.
the fever buff like really helps out for a lot of it. So.
You get fever buff if anybody has the SD title. You getting that? Which is really solid. I think. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just really super solid. But at the same time, like, I don't know.
It's a terrible order, yeah.
Like, it's just there's so many factors about it that, like, okay, the good, there's definitely good things and bad things. Like, I think the good things are, like you said, the fast clear time, and the fact that it's not very long dungeon. And I think the bad things are the layout is absolutely atrocious. Every enemy has something annoying about them. Like, jellyfish have.
And you have to spawn them too.
Yeah, you had like for some reason. This is the only dungeon in the game, not counting Ice Rite, because the Ice Rite enemies also do this. I mean, the Trosh enemies in Ice Rite do this. For some reason, enemies in Ice Rite need to be spawned. Like, you need to come close to spawn them. I don't know what. I don't think any other dungeon is like that. Like, why? Literally, why?
I think it's to just stop people from just Omega clearing it.
Maybe.
If we didn't, if we didn't have to spawn the mobs, we could be getting like 1 minute for clear times.
Could be. I wonder if they had that hindsight, because I don't even know if they had the hindsight of that's going to be the EXP dungeon when they were making it.
Mm.
Like honestly, I'm of the thought process of like I think Trosh accidentally became the best EXP dungeon. I think they were just making that dungeon, and my theory is
Really?
that since there's 3 bosses there, like you just get a lot of EXP from mainly those 3 bosses that like they didn't take
Mm.
into account, and it just happened to be this is the best place for EXP because of that.
Mm. It's also so fast as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think like especially when you compare it to the days when only 13.1, 13.2 were out,
Mm-hmm.
grinding XP in 13.2 was I did not. I mean the map
Wow.
is like
Yeah.
really like meh.
Yeah. Was 13-2 really the best dungeon?
Until 13.3 came, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I think I hate that dungeon. I think top 5 worst
Yeah.
dungeons in the game. That's one of them. I hate Deep Sea Tunnel. Deep Sea Tunnel is
Yeah,
atrocious.
holy.
Absolutely
Yeah,
atrocious, dude.
I remember trying to like grind it. I mean, at least in Trosh, like I guess if I go with super fast parties in Trosh, like I just become a Windle bot. But in in Tunnel, like I actually can't. Well, I mean, I'll clear a small section because I have something. But like, holy crap, it's so long
I
and
know.
everything is so spread out.
I know. And the boss is not
And
even
the
fun.
yeah.
It's- Oh, Claire said something in chat. Welcome, Claire. She said, I found something interesting today. I was in a solo trash run. I had to AFK for like 30 seconds, and when I came back, all the mobs would respawn. So you technically don't have to spawn them yourself, they just come out faster if you aggro them. Interesting.
Oh,
Yeah, but
interesting. Yeah.
yeah, that is interesting. I know if you die and respawn, I know they all kind of spawn in. Because when you respawn in this game, every enemy gets a knockdown.
Oh, so that's how they all get aggro.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's also how you stop Trosh's healing. Fun fact.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah. So sometimes I'll do that if we get a scuffed boss run. Is I'll intentionally kill myself to the reflect attack, so that when they start doing the healing, I can respawn in and stop the healing.
Oh, interesting tidbit.
Yeah.
But yeah, about the mobs aggroing thing, yeah, I think that's a really really big part of like what's slowing people down in general.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember because usually I run with other people with EXP, and sometimes when I run with Kay, who's like I don't know how she does it. Her autopilot farming is so ridiculously fast. I don't know how she does it, but anyway, literally the thing holding us back is how quickly I can spawn things. Like for me, like the faster I can spawn the faster everything spawns, the faster we clear it. Like
Yeah.
that's yeah, like and then sometimes we get like sometimes we get one even like 137 because everything spawned really nicely, and then sometimes I have to wait for like the one seahorse to come out, and then we'll get like 150 as a result.
Oh yeah.
So
That's oh my goodness. Yeah, I was gonna say like there's something that bothers you with every single enemy in that dungeon. Like the jellyfish have suction and they have like the level 3 core like static on hit. Like the turtles are super tanky. The seahorses don't spawn sometimes just because they don't feel like
yeah,
it. Like every single enemy in that dungeon has something annoying about them. It's the worst.
yeah, full of boss. If you don't nuke it, like you just extended your runtime by like 30 seconds.
Oh yeah, the boss too.
You
Yeah,
got-
if you don't get that.
Yeah. Oh.
Also, apparently, I'm at a point where I'm a little bit too strong that I can't Ifrit the Trosh at half HP because I take them into their second phase too fast because my Ifrit's too
Oh.
strong. Because I don't
Oh,
run
wow.
EXP weapon, I use my normal weapon. I don't have an EXP weapon. Yeah.
I think if you're running good XP. But so you said you had an XP page, but not XP
Yeah,
gear.
yeah. All I have is EXP page, pretty much. So yeah, when I do grind, I'll do EXP page, metal, and that's about it. To be honest with you.
Actually, do you even need to Ifrit? Because I know for me, whenever I grind with a full EXP setup, so I have EXP page with EXP weapons.
It depends what the freeze is. If it's freeze
Oh,
orb,
because-
it's fine. Yeah, if it's freeze orb, it's fine.
Oh, okay.
But sometimes
You think it
sometimes I've ran with blue hens and some of their initial freezes I don't think are last as long. But usually if it's a freeze orb, it's fine.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. So, okay.
Yeah, but I got in the habit of doing it because that was just the habit of just reducing their
Yeah.
elemental resistance.
I guess given I only grind with one fluid, but They
Yeah.
only, but they always use water orbs. And then
Yeah,
whenever they
yeah.
need to extend the freeze, they just because I guess
Water orb is,
water
I
orb is
think,
like
a
their fastest.
yeah, yeah,
It's their
yeah.
fastest freeze. So
Sometimes you do whiff it though, and it do be like that. Sometimes you walk a little
yeah,
bit too far.
and it goes off the edge, and you're like, oh no, my
I
freeze.
know. That's
I
so
mean, the good
sad.
thing is the good thing is Balloon has some backup. So like, if they
Yeah,
miss
yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah.
they can just do something else. But like for us, when we miss it, it's just
Oh,
oh,
oh man, that reminded me of something
because
hilarious. Me and Kigo during a official stream, I think a couple days ago, we were just
mm,
joking and messing around because I was doing dark gaze runs, right? So I was helping people with dark
mm,
gaze, and we were just like
mm,
joking around or just like the idea of like Nova support, and like one of the things we thought about, or at least I thought about, was like, okay, what if there was a mod for Ignition Crow Incinerator that made it like an Ice Crow that did like a one-hit freeze?
oh,
I was like, just jokingly, cause I was just like, hey, you know what? That's like a mod skill. Like the normal one's a fire one, and then the mod is an ice one. You know, maybe I don't know. It's kind of fun.
what? We're
Yeah,
onto something here.
like I don't know. Maybe like
He replaces,
maybe he has some
he
cooling
replaces,
things to like help him from overheating. I don't know.
yeah,
Use
or
that
maybe
excess to make ice.
wouldn't it be really cool? Like,
Mm.
what if he had like what if like the arm itself just becomes like you have an ice version of arm? Because technically, if you need
Mhm.
energy to heat things up,
Yeah,
then you could
yeah.
also use energy to cool things down, right? So you can
Right,
have like an
right,
ice
right.
arm. But I think all the skills become ice. Holy
I don't know.
wait.
I think it'd be kind of funny. I think that'd be kind of funny. I don't know.
Hmm.
Oh man. Speaking of like support Nova, you weren't here for the last time we were talking about it. We were talking about the patch a little bit. What do you
Hmm.
think about that? Like KR obviously taking some steps forward towards like a little bit of support Nova.
Oh, it's nice for
Yeah.
sure. It
Like
means if I'm like solo carrying on DPS, like I don't need to find like if worst comes to like the worst comes to worst, and I can't find Scent or CC, then it's fine because I can just get super on myself.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I mean, actually, I think it's an okay change because it also means that because with super armor, like you'd still want to chill because they give other buffs as well, but at least it allows NI to fill in something that a lot of people consider to be a staple in
Mhm.
roster rate. I mean, in terms of it being staple, like I disagree. I disagree about it being a staple. I think you can just get good and not need super armor, but
Oh
obviously
yeah,
having
yeah,
that
yeah.
safety net, obviously having that safety net is super nice.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah,
I guess I'm
it's a
also
yeah. What is it in Rosso at least? If you're in skill, like nothing will really push you too much.
well, I think even in birth, as long as you just school all the time. I guess
Yeah,
in birth, I'm not.
to be honest, even in birth, it's more important to have damage reduction, not really the super armor.
Yeah, I mean, super corner is definitely handy. So then, like,
Mhm.
when all the skill bands go up, you don't get tossed around while you're using actives.
Yeah, right.
But, but yeah, like it's always a handy thing to have, but not 100% necessary.
Yeah, I can get the not 100% necessary.
I think in birth, a lot of the red damage comes from like super armor gives red damage anyway. Like tactical field has like 5%.
Mhm. Yeah,
I mean, it is kind of cool, but
that's another thing actually is with this patch, Nova has the only super armor field that doesn't give some type of damage reduction. Because obviously Wonder Wall gives damage reduction, Tactical Field gives damage reduction, and now the new Iron Body always gives damage reduction, and now it's going to give the super armor. So Nova actually has the only one that doesn't give defense in general. It's like I was thinking about that, and I was just like, okay, maybe they honestly take that, and what if they roll with it? What if they take that and roll with it, and in the sense of just like, let's just go the opposite direction, and let's give people an attack buff for being in it instead of a damage reduction buff. Like, give them some, just I don't know, like 10% damage increase, 10%, like I don't know, some crit damage increase or something. Like, what if they like you could say, let's say for example, right? You could say that CC and Centurion maybe are like kind of like defensive tanks in the sense that they give you super armor fields and defensive buffs. What if Nova, let's say, was an offensive tank where his super armor gave you offensive stats? You know, I think that's an interesting kind of thing there.
I think specifically for Nova, and I think like given how low support capabilities currently are,
Mm.
I think that would be pretty nice.
Yeah.
I think especially burst. I mean, yeah, damage is. I mean, of course, damage is important,
Mhm.
but obviously in burst, like surviving's a lot. Like because it's actually difficult to survive in burst, like you gotta actually build around it.
Mhm.
For Rosso, actually, I think for Rosso that's kind of okay as well because
Yeah, yeah. With Rosso, because the point of what Rosso is, you don't really need to be more defensive. Like being more offensive is good because you just get it done faster.
yeah, there's also, and I guess it also doesn't rule out CC or Scent
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because they themselves also have like, other damage buffs as well
Mhm.
outside of their super armor.
That's true.
So
Actually, they have heavy. Like, Sun has heavy field. CC has Pandy. You're right, actually.
Abby and Rapid Guardian debuff
Rapid Guardian
removal.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
That too.
So
Like, what is it? The Flames of Victory, the buff that reduces Nova's cooldowns by 30%. Like, I think they
yeah,
could
it
just give
used
that to at least a modified version to the whole party.
or it could be like CDA, or it could be like CDA, like people stand the flames with CDA.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
I
how
think
old Flames of Victory was actually.
actually was it a CDA or was it CDR? I thought it was a CDR.
No, it was
I
it,
think
it was cooldown at actually.
no, I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
it
yeah,
was
yeah. You're right.
reaction.
You're right. You're right. I think yeah.
Yeah,
If you're in the fire and you used a skill, that skill would get like reduced
cooldown.
cooldown. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
weird, but yes.
yeah, but then now it's on activation, so you don't have to like
Mhm.
stand there and use stuff.
So yeah, you did play Nova or VC during that Transcendence VC during that time, right?
You mean during the time when Nishiko Napalm did like 15k
Yeah, yeah. Well,
or 12k,
during the time when Flames of
12k?
Victory, you had to be inside the fire, pretty much.
Yeah, I did play during that time.
Okay, so you remember at least something I remembered at least was how annoying it was to kind of set that up because the way Ignition Crow Napalm works is it spawns from Raven. So if you want to be inside the field, you had to back up a little bit and then use it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That was at least I thought that was a bit annoying.
Okay, yeah, I can. Yeah, no, maybe I didn't explicitly think that because it was so long ago that I might have
Yeah,
forgotten.
I think it might have been.
But
I particularly remember being like, oh, I need to back up and then use this Ignition Crow. I'm not gonna get the buffs.
I think the only one thing I remember from that is that the flames itself gives you like it's a constantly refreshing 1 second buff
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because I remember that if you jump from it and use harpoon, then like you as long as you use the harpoon quickly, then like you still get the cooldown reduction.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I remember. That's all I remember from it actually.
Because like, I think, yeah, I think that might be a problem when at least for DPS Nova. I think for if you want to do quote unquote let's say support Nova, that shouldn't be a problem because you shouldn't really be DPSing anyway if you don't have damage. So being able to be in a good position to Ignition Crow, that should be your top priority if you're doing support Nova, quote unquote. But for damage Nova, I think they could easily because it's pretty much established that it's a support skill now. Like Ignition Crow Napalm ain't doing no damage. So I think they could change the skill to be like instead of going from one direction from Raven, it can go to both directions. So like split forward and backward from the where you activate the skill. Yeah. Haze Explosion does not lower defense; it lowers KD and resistance. I think.
And attack speed.
Attack speed. Yeah, it's attack speed and movement speed. There you go. My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, attack speed and movement speed, and if you have the trait, it reduces knockdown, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, look at it right now. Where was I going with that? Oh yeah, also another thing. Speaking of Ignition Crow, so Ignition Crow, how it is now, I feel like they haven't changed it enough to be a fully functioning support skill. The reason why I say that is because it still has damage traits. It doesn't have support traits.
Oh.
Like I think it can get like Killing Blow, maybe like Persistent, Regenerating, Gigantic, support traits. Right now it has, I believe, Critical and Heavy, which don't lend themselves to support. Yeah, Critical and Heavy, which aren't support things. It's just damage.
And I think Killing Blow would now be. Killing Blow 1 I think would now be appropriate because they've increased the cooldown on it as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I did calculations. Oh, that's right. If you don't have CDR ERP, then you just need to make sure that you can proc the CDR passive at least once before the flames go away because you get one proc when you use a skill and then another like 7 seconds later.
Okay.
And then because the flames last for 8.3, right? So as long as you cast a second one like right after the cooldown's gone, then you can cast another one, and you can have 100% uptime on it with no CDR ERP. Yeah.
Ooh,
But if you do
nice.
have CDR ERP, then you can have it up 100% of the time without a second proc.
Okay, okay. So you just had to work on your timing if you don't have CDR. That's fair.
Yep.
Okay, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, the only other problem I could see with Ignition Crow Napalm being a support skill is in terms of range, it's the weakest because it's kind of the weakest because Wonderwall.
Yeah.
The only problem with Wonderwall is people miss it if you're not close to him. But if once you get it, you're not gonna lose it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With the tactical field, it's a bubble. Like be in the bubble, and
Yeah.
I believe Iron Body is auto applied. I don't think you need to be close. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Yeah. Also, Ke has a unique kind of ability in Birth Raid with his super armor because his super armor will never get banned because it's inactive. So it's actually quite nice. Because Iron Body's inactive, so Birth is never gonna ban Ke super armor, which is pretty solid actually. I would think.
Back on the topic of Wonderwall. Wonderwall is kind of weird because it's like if you're not really close to him at the start of the animation, you're not gonna get it.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it's like,
no.
yeah, because it's like his the Wonderwall now is like you have to get it once he starts it. Like you can't get it like if he starts it and then you come near him, you'll get it.
No wonder. Maybe that's why. Because the thing is, like, I don't run Giant Elixir when I support on CC. Because sometimes, like, sometimes, like in Top 7 Phase 2, for example, I sprint the heck down there and like put the Wonderwall, and then I see people still die to the swipe, and then I'm assuming it's because, and like all the people who came like slightly late, like they get hit by a swipe and they just die, and I'm like, oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, I think if you are CC, taking Giant Spot or Giant Shining is really nice.
Yeah, really makes a difference.
Yeah, because what is that? That increased range of the buff is just super nice.
Yeah, because the visual range is already like not that great. Sorry.
But yeah, like going back to Nova, I think I think he could have more support than just a super armor field. I think they can give him a bit more. I think the bare minimum, not the bare minimum because I feel like the bare minimum is any support, but I feel like another step they could take is, like we said, giving that cooldown to the whole team. Either it's, I mean, I wouldn't think it's the flat 33%. I think they could, probably cut that in half to maybe 15, or maybe do a flat like 7 seconds like they did with other characters. But I think he could give that to the team, like as whenever he uses a crow and it's not on cooldown, and the passive itself isn't on cooldown, he could just get that to the whole party and it'd be really nice. Because I don't know, I feel, at least for me, I feel like it's a nice feeling to be able to be like, you can play a Raven and not have DPS and still be important to the party. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's I feel like it's a nice feeling to be able to tell people that, be able to recommend Raven, because I think before this it was very difficult for me to recommend Raven for new up and coming people, except for Rage Hearts maybe, because he does have those debuffs, which are like solid. But yeah, this is a good feeling. It's a good feeling.
Yeah, great.
Speaking of Rage Hearts and things like that, that man, he's back. Like there's no question about it. He's back. Like this is, we are living in the era again where Rage Hearts is doing more damage than Nova, and he doesn't need to worry about wasting HP. Like we're back to like, this is like either pre-transcendence. I think this is pre-transcendence where Rage Hearts used to be this dominating, but oh my!
I'll take a phrase. I'll take a phrase from Avengers Endgame. No, it was Age of Ultron. Oh, we're definitely in the end times now.
Like, Devastating Strike is already one of the strongest single hit skills in this video game, and then they gave it 80% defense ignore. Like,
amazing.
Oh my goodness!
Thanks.
Like,
I mean, yeah, I'm really happy that Raven gets some love now.
Yeah, me too. Like, I am happy. Like, don't take my words into saying that I'm not happy that Rage Hearts is getting these buffs because I'm glad Rage Hearts is strong. It's just I'm getting weird nostalgia of just like, man, Rage Hearts is stronger than Nova and he doesn't have to worry about his HP. Like, just that feeling is weird.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. But
I guess on the I
go
guess on the
ahead.
downside is I guess like having I guess pre-birth
Mhm.
having short iframe, having short iframe is a bit of a down. Is like it can be
Oh
annoying.
yeah,
It
fair.
can
Yeah.
be annoying
True. True. True.
before birth, yeah. And they sped up everything, so it's like, oh well, I guess you better know how to press a button, otherwise you're gonna get melted.
True. True. True.
But I think in birth, like making everything even faster is such a godsend for him. Like, and then I guess the defending law is also specifically good for pre-nom onwards. So it really just feels like a birth-oriented patch.
You know what my problem is though? Actually thinking about it in
Mm.
hindsight, my problem
Mhm.
right now is that now he's just the best Raven. Like he's good at everything now. Like
Oh, good.
before he was clearing King, but his bossing was suffering compared to the other two. But now he has both. Like
Mm.
I don't know.
He's a Centurion now.
Kind of, yeah, kind of.
Mm.
Ray Sharks is definitely like edging onto that Centurion level. Like,
Mhm.
what is it? Guardian Strike is absolutely crazy for clearing, and they just made it stronger. I believe they just made it stronger.
Yeah, they buffed it.
Yeah, and and now his bossing got better with Devastating Strike having 80% defense ignore. Like, he could just do everything. Like, I'm just like he can really just do everything now. Like, what's stopping
It's
him?
time to switch. It's
I mean,
time to switch.
never in my
Stop it.
life will
Anyway,
I
I'm
switch.
kidding.
Yeah, never in my life will I switch. I'm just like blown back, kind of. I'm just kind of blown back. Like, wow, he really is back. Like, this is we're back in the dark time. So Freight charts.
It's awesome.
This is the dark.
And, well,
Mhm.
What is it? You know what's interesting? It seems like
Mhm.
they're giving one character, I mean, one class per character, a defense ignore nuke.
Oh wait.
Like,
Hold on.
Devi from Aura has Ignition Spear.
Yep.
Doombringer from Ad has Supersonic.
Yep.
Rage Hearts from Raven has Devastating Strike.
Yep.
I don't know about the other ones, but I wonder if that's the plan to have like one character out of the three that you have I mean, one class out of three characters that you have in three classes that you have in a character to have this. I guess to be the strongest DPS, maybe.
CC had a skill like that, but they removed that part.
Mm.
Oh no.
I don't know. Like where I just noticed that while reading the patch, and I'm just like, where are they going with that? Like, what's the idea here that like only one out of the three in a class have a defense ignore? Because obviously defense ignore is massive, massive. Like you said, very birth oriented patch. Like defense ignore is so massive in birth. Like me personally, personal experience, I just went from using what is it, Seven Realms weapon to just this last week I changed to Horde of Darkness weapon, which has 5% defense ignore. My DPS honestly shot up really nicely
Wow.
just from that one change. I think if correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe all bosses in Birth have around 70% defense.
I'm not 100% sure on that, but
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. It's a number I've seen tossed around, but in general, they have a lot of defense. Like that's why if you'll see a Devi in Birth, they'll rank really really high because of things like Ignition Spear, 100% ignoring defense. Like getting through that defense is really nice, especially when they have infinite hyper armor, so you can't really winddoor them all that often. Like sometimes you can, but like.
But I think especially with Devi, like because Devi has plenty of tools that can help it deal with big bosses. Like you have Rakshasa, what's it, Rakshasa Inferno, you have Modern Energy Void. Like there's so many big boss kills, and then her only the only skill that she has that doesn't kill, that has like that deals damage no matter the size. It has like 100% defense ignore. Like okay.
Yeah,
And then she got, and then in that patch she got cooldown acceleration on. I think Rakshasa already had like CDR, and then they just slapped more an acceleration to that. So now it's just.
Yeah,
That's why so many people say Debbie.
that's pretty crazy. 2.5 Crows episode on Saturday. Yeah, we moved it to Saturday because what is it? Sky's schedule just made more sense for Saturday.
Mm.
I've heard Rosso also has 70% defense. Adapt is what really makes it feel difficult to damage, I think. Yeah. I'm talking about when when you cap adaptation, because usually if you're doing birth, you should have around capped adaptation.
Please don't be me and go in with 23% and like less than
Oh
damage.
no.
No, please don't.
Dude, like I go in with 45. I go in with max defense and mass boss reduction, and I still sometimes get nuked at half HP after an overheat. Like sometimes I still will. Like oof.
No,
Imagine playing Nova. When I'm
could
invited,
be
oh yeah, we'll get Claire on. Don't worry. We'll get Claire on an
one
episode.
day.
Well, I'll hit you up. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Okay, what else? What else happened in that patch? Oh, something cool happened. The concept of solely HP healer. Uh,
BQ Blood Force.
Bloody Queen. What do you think of the idea of an only HP healer? A healer that doesn't heal MP, just only HP.
Useful in birth, but not very useful outside of birth.
Yeah,
and also
that's true.
There's also that she offers very little support outside of the HP heal, and there's also that the mod version of the skill has the 85% defense ignore.
Mm-hmm.
So you're choosing to either be damage or be support, and you can't really do both. But at that point,
I see.
So at that point, if you're going into birth as DPS, like Bloody Queen, you would not want to. You'd obviously want to take mod levels because that has 85% defense ignore. So
that's a decent system though, in the sense of just like
you either heal or you do damage. Like,
that's pretty. I think that's actually a good idea. Like for more characters to have that.
I think it's a good idea, but I feel like in practice, everyone will just go as. I mean that's unless you're being.
I think it depends on your. I think that's a gear dependent thing.
Yeah, because if you're dead weight, then really heal. But if you're
not
dead weight, then it's not. Then like you get like that extra defense ignore as a buff.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think honestly, I think that's pretty solid. Like if you're not DPS yet, if you're only support or like you're only at the range where your gear you can only be a support, like losing your nuke to have a good supporting skill, I think that sounds pretty solid.
I think the heal is also more powerful than Sun Shower heal.
It is by 2%. I looked up the numbers. Sun Shower's 15 and Bloody Queen is 17. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I am okay. In my opinion, I think they could buff it a little bit because it only heals HP. I think they can make it 20%.
Yeah. And then maybe make it. Is it 3 ticks only, or?
I don't know how many ticks. I think people have to. I don't know the duration of the swamp on the tip of my tongue.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can swap it. You can also swap it mid-fight.
You can. You have to wait the 5 seconds though.
Yeah. You have to wait. Is it 5 seconds of not doing anything?
It's 5 seconds after you use that skill.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And then so you just gotta not press it for 5 seconds and swap it.
Yeah. I believe. I'm not sure if it's that skill or a skill. I'm not 100%.
Okay. That. I'm not 100% sure either.
I gotta say, I almost never mid-switch a mod. I don't think Nova needs to do that ever. But yeah, no. I was thinking about not really Bloody Queen in specific. I was just thinking about the idea of just like a mod version is the, let's say, support variation, and the normal version is the damage variation. I think if they put that on a lot more characters, I think that would work pretty well. Like, let's say for example, there is a mod for Sun Shower where the modded version doesn't heal, but it chunks. Like, that's the nuke. You know? Like, isn't that a cool idea? I feel like that's a cool idea.
Actually, I think that was what they were going for the whole I'm helping system with Labby. Because because a lot of the time, because I think, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think a lot of the time, if you just look at the base skills alone, like not counting any of the passives that boost I'm helping damage, a lot of the skills have, when you don't press I'm helping, like the skill itself like has more offensive utility, but doesn't support, but when you use it I'm helping version, then it has more utility. But then
looks like that didn't work out correctly.
Yeah, but then the thing is, like, I heard that she gets a bunch of passives that boosts the damage and
It
offensive utility of
I'm
helping
helping.
skills anyway.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, so that, yeah, so they kind of like, so you just press
Hmm.
I'm helping all the
Interesting.
time. Not
Hmm.
100% sure on that.
Interesting. I mean, that sounds like a just Radiant Soul conflict in itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I think that concept alone could help a lot of classes, which like have either too much DPS or little to no support. Is that like if they gave them a mod skill that kind of like was DPS in one variant and then non-DPS and just support in another variant. This patch definitely. I don't know if you feel the same about this. This patch definitely feels like them testing a lot of things. Like
Because I haven't done this kind of thing in terms of like adding so much defensive law, like adding super armor and cooldown reduction. Like so many classes got cooldown reduction support. Although I feel like some of the skills that they added onto were a bit questionable, but
yeah. Like what is it? I think
I don't know. I don't know. You put it onto 4 seconds
yeah, that's
cooldown.
true. They put it on Ethenjar.
Okay.
Yeah, that is weird. I don't know why Ethenjar got the cooldown reduction. What is it?
I feel like it should have been like a grenades passive, except make a grenades passive apply for the whole body or something.
Yeah, like this patch definitely feels like it should have been a bigger deal. Like it should have been like a almost a reboot 2.0. Like you know what I mean? Like whenever they do like a patch where people change this much, so I feel like these are a lot of big changes. It's usually like a big event, you know, like it's a reboot, like it's a revamp, like things like that. Like it feels almost like these are kind of reboot type of things, but it's not a big thing. It's just like this is just a patch. Like I don't know if they're just testing. Part of me just feels like they're testing the waters to see how a lot of these concepts work. Like the concept of giving more people support, the concept of like a solely healer support, the concept of a super armor active, the concept of a mod that also does damage, the concept of giving one class and a character a defense ignore skill. Like I don't know. Part of me just feel like they're just testing it, and then just like if people like it, they'll move forward and keep doing it. Maybe I don't know. Because my one fear is that this is it, and then they don't do any more supports. Like that's my fear.
Oh, true.
Yeah, because I don't. At least for Nova, I don't think he's fully fledged out yet in terms of a support, even a partly support.
Though I think with this patch, the most surprising thing to me in this patch was that Celestial got nerfed. Like
he
I
did get
expected
nerfed, yeah.
like I expected them to like hit him like really hard and see all his like defense, all his support utility like go down and his DPS and his damage numbers all go down and everything, but they
took away the things that like okay with Celestia. They took away the things that influenced your party. How like a lot of the changes they made like don't mess with the party anymore. Like there was a body size skill.
Oh yeah, the body size thing now only applies to himself, and the self bit now only applies to himself.
Yeah.
But they didn't know, but they didn't know anything else. So like they didn't know the CDA, they didn't know the CDR, they didn't know the magic attack. And horary, they didn't change that either.
That is an interesting skill.
Yeah. So I just thought like, wow, like, and apparently this guy can do damage too. So it's like,
yeah, he looks like he does solid damage.
Yeah, so I'm just thinking like, well, because you can really see really clearly with Radiant Soul that she can't.
Yeah, she can't do damage because of how good of a support she is.
Yeah, but then you have people like Celestia who can do both. So
yeah, it's definitely more on the Saturnian scale.
Well, yeah, although I guess it's a bit more. It's a bit similar to what Bluin was like when Raid first came out. Before he got all his damage, like I think with Ben like he kept his support, but his damage just went down a bit. But yeah, I think before he used to be like a pretty like solid 30 build damage a minute DPS.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
I think you had to lose some of your support to do that though, right? Don't you have to like lose a bit of your support to like focus on DPS?
Actually, not
really. Not really.
If we're talking about what it was like back then,
okay,
when his main support I think he will lose his spot as a freezer, but everything else would be kind of fine actually because he needs because the cooldown acceleration he needs that for himself as well. So you use that. The healing and then the healing field like you need that for yourself as well because he chugs pretty hard without it. So you need that there. And then all of his big boss. I think the main concern I had was that all of his big boss Yukas were all yellow. Like Breckham Brian, Italy Brian, they're all killing big stuff. So I think you might lose out on the giant presence. But I don't know. I spoke with Item B back years ago, and then he said like, no, we don't lose out on these boss. I thought, okay, well, I'll take his word for it because he's like probably the best DPS BL we had. And then, but especially on small bosses where you use like Requiem Wood, Italy Wood, you still up your shining presence. Like he just won't be focused on freezing anymore.
Okay. So you lose most of the freezing.
He just loses the freezing, but that's it. Everything else stays. Which is yeah. And then he got his deepest stuff, so unfortunately he's not that great of a damage dealer anymore. But we can think about the times that he did when he was an amazing clearer, an amazing bosser, and an amazing support.
True. Cool. Let me actually go to the patch just so I don't forget anything I want to talk about. I feel like I've gotten through most of what I wanted to talk about for that patch.
I know Nisha and Code Empress got their support buffed a bit.
Oh yeah, the summoner supports. Yeah, the summoner supports did get buffed a little bit.
Yeah.
I guess because it wasn't enough, the buffs that they were giving.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Let me see here. Scrolling through them. Electra. No, nothing for Empress. Oh, wait, here we go, Empress. Sario was put ahead of them. So, what is it? Yeah, Oberon now gives 20% ASD. Ophelia gives 20% defense and 20% damage reduction. Yeah, those two. So Oberon went from 10 to 20, and Ophelia went from 15 to 20.
Oh, that's right. I think something else was that a lot of classes got some form of damage reduction on their kit, like whether it be for themselves or the party.
Yeah.
Like Frenzy gives Black Massacre damage reduction now. What else got damage reduction?
Yeah, and what is it? Mod War Prelude also gives damage reduction now, along with more ASD, which is gonna be. I think Empire Sword is gonna be a really nice support, just in general.
Yeah. I think, but I feel like they gave that buff to Modern War Prelude specifically because her biggest damage app is debuff. So it doesn't work in burst.
Yeah, so you just kind of, I guess, play more support kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that's most of it.
Yeah. Oh, let's say Optimus is Armored Tempest. That's another one that gives super armor that like isn't really the best from what I'm looking at it. Have you seen Armored Tempest?
It lasts 5 seconds.
Yeah, it lasts 5 seconds. It's very tiny too. Very tiny. It's like almost, I would say a little bit, maybe even smaller than Rosso's body. It feels almost.
Oh, there's also one thing. The thing has a collision hitbox while you're summoning it.
Really?
Only after the thing. Yeah. So what happens when you use a skill is like the thing like takes like a bit of time to set itself up, and then once it sets itself up and starts releasing the shockwaves, it doesn't have but like while it's setting itself up, it has a collision hitbox. But once it starts releasing the shockwaves, then it doesn't have a collision hitbox.
Huh.
So like that could kill people depending on how you time it. I don't know. That was a concern that Roseplayer brought up.
Okay.
I don't know how much. I don't know how a CDR works, so I can't really comment as to whether this thing
have
has 100%
uptime.
or not. Yeah, because ultimately this thing lasts 5 seconds.
So. Yeah. It's not that much time, but I guess if she doesn't have CDR problems, then like that wouldn't be okay. Yeah, I was mostly going at the angle of I've seen it and it's just very small. Like this is no tactical field for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Nisha got from 8% physical to 15% physical, and 8% heal per second to 12% heal per second.
Ooh, okay.
But her boss damage summon, I assume, stayed the same.
Yeah, it would have. Presumably, it would have stayed the same.
I'm looking through it again. Oh yeah, Black Massacre is the Rose that does defense ignore with a Bloody Carnival mod.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they added on to mod. Oh wait, that's actually such a huge buff.
Oh my goodness, I forgot this one. Dangelion Hell's Gate got defense ignore. Oh my gosh.
Holy sh!
Hell's Gate is
also-
already so strong.
And they just gave it a signal.
Like that's another devastating strike, more or less, or supersonic.
Yeah. Oh, there's also. Oh, we also forgot to talk about catastrophe. That's right. Because because in a past patch, like, oh no, because remember when Innocent in the past patch got all of her like speed buffed, and then Dangelion also got the same treatment, but then nothing happened for catastrophe, and then all the catastrophe.
Yeah. They finally got it for like
Why?
Oblivion, for Demonic Cannon.
Apollyon.
Apollyon is the biggest one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's such a big buff. Well,
Yeah, yeah.
especially because like, yeah.
Also,
I'm happy.
yeah, that's
Mhm.
pretty cool. But yeah, again, another was it the Lucille, the one that has defense ignore is Dangelion. Like again, it looks like they're doing one class per character gets defense ignore skill.
Mm.
It's interesting, very very interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder if the way interesting people will bandwagon purely off the.
Yeah, like what does that mean? Like, will people, I assume, okay, I assume people who like to, not people like me. I'm talking about people who like to job change, who follow the meta, like however we want to call them, like call them sheep or whatever. Like people will do that. They will job change at a flip of a hat if another character
Yeah.
is stronger. Like,
Yeah.
I wonder if like, are they almost catering to those people by saying like, okay, this is the defense ignore class, just go to them if you want to be meta in birth, like like if you're like, okay, if you're Raven and you're trying to be meta in birth, right, and you see devastating strike have 80% defense ignore, like, and you like to job change, like, you're going to rage shards. Like, I don't see a reason why you would be FB or NI if you're trying to be meta in birth, right. Like, you're going rage hearts and you're devastating striking every single thing that moves and breathes. Because hyper armor counts as super armor, so you're always getting your damage proc.
And it's not just, and they also gave them nuclear also got sped up.
Oh, have
And
you?
ground,
Oh my goodness, have you seen sped up nuclear?
yes, holy crap.
You can move as soon as he points. The nuke is not even on the screen, I feel. As soon as he points, you can move. Like, jeez. Like, it's honestly, and it's kind of comical. Okay, wait, no. What's actually comical is Ground Crusher. Ground Crusher is actually comical how fast that is.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think it needed the speed buff.
Oh yeah, it 100% needed it. It's just like, holy, like Giga is crying. Like, Giga is actually crying. Giga Prominence is crying. Like,
yeah, Cog without buff.
Like,
without speed buff, Cog.
Like, literally, Giga Prominence is out here for 5 years trying to finish one, and like, Ground Crusher and Nuclear are literally, you blink and they're done.
Yeah, like in the time Nova could cast Giga, like you could have Raytos cast Devastating Strike, Nuclear, Ground Crusher, like
FB also got. Have you seen the Sharp Charge? And like,
yeah.
Sharp Charge is so fast now.
Yeah, because Sharp Charge used to be, well, at least like before, I didn't particularly like to use Sharp Charge because it was like it was a bit of a slow slide for me.
But it was cool, but not practical. Like, and then
the Shoot Up Genocide.
Shoot Up Genocide with speed is so wacky. I don't know if you've seen that animation. It's so wacky.
That change. I mean, I feel like the changes, like the speed up, I think is good.
Oh yeah.
The cooldown reduction, I think, is good. I mean, I kind of worry a bit about his chug now, but
like
crap,
they have doubled down on FB in the funniest way. Instead of fixing the fact that he's a pot chugger, they just made him a bigger pot chugger. Like, he'll do more damage now because he has 50% cooldown reduction. But oh my goodness, did he become a bigger pot chugger? And I just think that's hilarious.
It's like, yeah, I hope you brought your blue ins because.
Yeah, like wait, like, yeah, cooldown time decrease. 50%. Oh my goodness. Why? On blade
Oh, it's
acceleration.
important. It's important to know that it's 50% current.
Oh, current? Okay.
Yeah, that passive has always been current.
Okay. I didn't know that. It's still good.
Sorry.
It's still good.
It's still really good. Yeah, I mean, before it used to be 33% based on the current CD. So yeah, I think it's fair that if it's current, then they buff it up to 50 because.
Okay.
Mm.
The enemy with shoot up genocide? Is that how it is?
Hmm?
Yeah, they hit.
Yeah, before you have to hit.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to hit things with it.
Okay.
I think. Actually, did they change it so that you don't have to hit it?
I'm looking at Elwiki now. It says when hitting still.
Okay, then yeah, then you still have to hit something. You can't just like crow into nothing and get it.
Okay. But that's interesting. That's I mean, like, again, it's great because 50%
I mean,
cooldown.
chugs harder, but
Yeah, but hey, that's more damage. Like, that's still more damage. Like, you can't lie that that's more damage. Talked about that. Oh, okay. Surprised we haven't talked about this. Rain of Fire regaining some of its lost damage from when it first came out. Some.
Oh yeah.
Not all.
Whoa.
Some. That thing used to be 400% per bullet. Like, I can't believe they actually did that.
Yeah.
Like,
Same.
like sometimes I think about old Rain of Fire and I'm just like, they did this. Why did they do? Why were they allowed to do this? Like, holy crap. But yeah, what is it? 300% not counting. What is it? Let me see this just real quick. Going back to the patch. 309 not taking into account its final enhanced because patch notes don't include final enhanced for whatever reason. So taking into account final enhanced, how much would that be? I'm not too good with math. Still, that's such a crazy. I think this guy may have AFK'd or something. But
Video, are you okay?
okay, that was weird. I think Discord messed up for a second.
Oh, okay. Like I thought you like had to like leave or something, and I'm like, oh,
No. I think
yeah.
no. Okay. So okay, I was just saying. Okay, so not including final enhance, Rain of Fire is 309. That's how much would and I was wondering how much would final enhance add to it. Because
Wait, the old value, when you said the old value was 400%, that was before final enhance as well, right?
I can't remember. I think so.
Yeah, I feel like it would have. Yeah.
Yeah.
All I remember is the 132k all hit or something. Like when you use it, yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay, so currently, Rain of Fire is 237, and then Final Enhance brings it up to 284. So 309, going up to that was about 50 for this one. So it almost might get. It should be around 350 per hit.
Yeah. Wait. There's time. It's 1.2. 1.2, right?
Yeah, 1.2 increase.
Yeah. Then there's 370 then.
370. That's
old one,
pretty fat.
Wait, wait, you said the old one was 400, right?
The old one. Let me go check it again just in case. I need this might take some time. I can't because I can't remember if Elwiki has it or I would have to search in Babel to see when they nerfed it. Okay, I have to go search in Babel to see when they nerfed it.
Okay, the old one would have been if I take what you said and it's 400, then final enhance will bring it up to 480. But yeah, I really have like personally, I really like it that they brought it up. I think especially because it's so useful in birthright because you just cast it and you forget about it.
Yeah, it's really good, especially in the Havian fight. It's great against all the generators and Havian. Yeah,
maybe you just said it then. Oh, speaking of that, or at least like whenever I think about Old Rain and grinding TSS, which is what I associate with it most. Still remember those times when I used to grind with Light Orihana, who's the rune master who gets all the Henna challenge times. Oh, that's right. I was grinding with him. Chiquita.
Oh, Chiquita. I know Chiquita. Yeah.
Yeah, and Dark. Although I didn't really grind with Dark that much because Dark finished his TSS in like a week. I don't know how he does it, but anyway. So so what happens is like Light and I get to final boss, get to the third phase in 13.5.
Mhm.
I press Rain and Summon Burst.
Mhm.
He presses IDK. Extreme Root Buster, I don't know. Another skill maybe and the boss is dead. Like that was how strong. And I was the one getting MVP over him. So like it was really
That is
it was really
pretty crazy.
yeah. Yeah, I still remember back in the day when we were like that's right, when Rain on Fire first got released and we were like, this thing does stupid amounts of damage, but we'll take it.
Right.
And I'm sad. But I mean,
Yeah.
like, I agree that it needed the nerf, but it was sad.
I know. Yeah. No. It was crazy. It definitely needed a nerf, but it's just sad that it got nerfed.
Yeah.
Real quick, Sebastian said base Elsword out DPSs as everyone changed my mind. True.
He's a pro tag.
Yeah, he has protagonist powers.
He is a protagonist, so yeah, he
Mhm.
gets that.
Yeah.
Gets that powers.
By the way, was
Yeah, what's
there
up?
any like changes to Chung? Like,
No, actually.
especially PC? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there were no.
There was actually no changes to Chung.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll just sit over here at the no buff party club over here.
No.
Hey guys, what's up? Yeah, you didn't get a buff either? Yeah, me too.
I think Chung might have been the only. Yeah, I think Chung might have been the only one that didn't get a buff actually.
Man, that sucks.
I mean, he's still good. Say
I
what?
don't think Ara got. Did Ara get changed? I don't think she got changed, right?
Let me look now. Alessis. Yeah, it goes straight from Eve to Alessis.
Okay.
So skip out. Yeah, Ara didn't get it either.
Oh wait, because I remember it goes from Eve to Alessis, and then Ara to Ad got added at the very end.
Yeah.
But I can't remember whether. Oh.
Yeah, there's no Ara. There's no Ara.
Okay.
Interesting. Also, I did find Rain of Fire. It was 395 without final enhance.
Oh, okay. So we're getting
So pretty much what you said.
Okay.
But I'm wondering now is like, do we change what we stack now? Because I fully stack Giga, and I'm like somewhat considering doing half and half maybe. Like I'm seriously debating it because this is a pretty good damage increase to Rain of Fire.
I reckon change it to 2 and give it a spin.
Yeah. I think maybe it's worth a shot because like, it's true that what is it? Rain doesn't do much damage against small bosses, and Giga will do a lot of good damage on small bosses.
Yep. Everything in Birth is big, so.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, right? Like everything in Birth is big, and Rosso isn't too hard to handle these days anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The thing with boss though, like even if you get the even if like the brain is not very useful in phase 2 and 3, like it's still gonna melt.
Yeah, it's still
most
gonna
of
be
the time
solid.
anyway.
Yeah.
So.
It's interesting.
Oh,
What's up?
CC already has a defense ignore skill.
What is it?
Call a ball of pain.
Oh yeah.
Oh, mod.
Oh yeah, Caliblock. Interesting.
I totally forgot about that.
I did too.
Yeah,
Well,
same.
well, people stopped using it because it messes with Rosso. So I think people
Well,
just stopped
like,
using it.
They should use the mod version because the
The mod version messes with Rosso a little bit. It makes him invisible.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, it makes him invisible.
No, I thought that was the normal
Wait,
version.
wait, was that the normal
I thought
version?
it
My
was
bad.
The
because
normal one is.
because
Okay,
of the debuff Curse of Agony.
Okay. It might have been the normal one, yeah.
Then they should use the mod version. I like that version because it replaces the one shot to a multiple hair area of effect,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of like
That's cool.
a max of 7 hits. Yeah, it does 100% defensive.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I don't.
Yeah.
I can't remember it. Interesting. Very
Mm.
interesting. Yeah, see, yeah, 100% defense ignore. 700 per hit, up to 7 times.
Mm-hmm.
It's not bad. Interesting. If Raven married
Yeah,
someone, who would it be? At this point, I don't know, Rena. They shipped him a lot. I'm fine with it.
I'm fine with Rena, really.
I'm down with that ship.
Hmm. I
Uh,
can feel like it happens too. Yes.
mhm.
um.
I think that's about it for this patch. Unless there's something else you guys can think of.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all had the stage. I don't have anything for it. I'm not part of it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it from what I can think. Oh, they nerfed Mind Break. That's a PvP thing though, because Mind Break in PvP is stupid. Cutting MP cost in half is stupid when they can stack Plague and Shadow's Descent. Because then you're just crying because you have no mana. Yeah, that's pretty much it for that. Anything else for
I think that's.
another topic?
Oh, another topic.
Yeah.
I've wrote down a couple of things.
Yeah, we can go over them.
Okay, so the first thing I wrote about here is. Uh. Why did I write this again? Profile pictures.
Oh wait, my bad. We actually talked about some of those in the last podcast.
Oh, sure. Okay, I'll mark that as.
Yeah, let me mark the ones we actually went. I mean, you want to talk about yours because we talked about ours, but you didn't talk about yours, obviously.
Oh, sure. So for the longest time, I did not have a profile picture. Actually, well, not. Okay, longest time is in a couple of years, and then I thought, okay, well, I'll get a profile picture, but I was very like I thought a lot about a profile picture in terms of like what kind of impression.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because the thing is, I would not create a profile picture for the sake of, hey, this is who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I'd create. I mean, I guess there's that, but to me, there's a far bigger element of how I want other people to perceive me,
Mm.
and so that's actually why I chose Gyrus and not a husbando.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, basically, I didn't want to get judged.
Okay,
so,
that's fair.
so that's why I use Gyrus and why I have stuck to Gyrus for.
Mm-hmm. Like, this is retreading a little bit, but I would kind of agree to a degree because for me, I used to do a lot of like whatever anime or video game I'm playing at the time. I'll have that be my icon. But these days, it's usually just fan art of me or my icon or anything like that, just so when people see that, they can easily identify me if they can.
Oh.
Kind of thing like that. Like it's kind of like my quote unquote brand almost, so that people know like, okay, this is Meteor Falcon kind of thing. So yeah.
I think it makes sense.
Yeah. What about you, Oni? Why do you choose the profile pictures that you do?
Wait, what do I choose?
No, why do you choose the profile pictures that you do for like Skype, Discord, what have you?
Oh, that's a good question. I just think that I just pick them because I just like them. I don't really know.
That's fair.
like
That's fair.
I just pick it because I just want to pick it. I don't like. I just never really put any thought into it.
That's fair. Another one with that.
Well, I never really been asked that. I wasn't prepared for that.
It's okay. It's all good. So that's a good question. You got another one? If you guys have something in the chat, feel free to ask.
Okay. Do you just want me to go down the list?
Yeah.
For now? Okay. So the next one, there was a question in the chat to Oni. I'm not sure whether this wasn't addressed right.
Oh yeah. Oni, do you
Um,
know what Chung's favorite song is? Sebastian was asking.
no, I don't, but I know it sounds trolly.
Yeah, I say this sounds like a joke. I feel like Sebastian's setting up a joke.
Yeah.
Wonderwall. Okay,
Oh, okay, go away.
okay.
Go away.
Wow.
Why did I say that song? I totally forgot.
I was
I
thinking
totally
of just
forgot
like,
that was a song.
yeah. I was thinking of like, oh man, what's the punchline gonna be? It's wonderful.
Wait, wait. Actually, I didn't get it.
There's a
Could you
song called
explain it?
Wonderwall.
There's a song
Oh.
called.
It's by who? I don't know who it's by, but there's a song called Wonderful.
Oh.
Yeah,
I see. Thank you.
yeah. No problem. Apparently Oasis. That's the name of the band. Oasis.
Oh. Okay.
It's like an old rock band, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Looking at the list that we have here, what character traits draw you in? I'll go first. I think for me, it's usually the cool character. Usually the character that's like not the main character, not super energetic, the cool kind of level-headed guy. Appearance-wise, usually darker colors, but like not super edgy.
Mm. I guess I thought of this question because I see a lot of people around me have like a type.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, like say I look at a character and I can instantly go, okay, X person likes this character because they like X, Y things.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for me, like I don't know, like all my favorite characters are they're also different in a
Really?
way.
Okay.
Yeah, like Uncle Raven is, I guess, like you said, cool, level-headed. He's like the more serious one, and I think
Yeah.
that seriousness was what drew me in initially. I mean, I guess that's also his appearance. I guess that's also his appearance, but
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't need to be said. I guess that was what drew me in first, and then there was what's another favorite character. Well, that's right. I guess I'm from Ensemble Stars.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I have a really hard time figuring out why I like him because
Mm.
because his personality is not very apparent.
Okay.
Like in terms of like developing his sense of identity, like he's way behind the rest of the cast because he's lived in isolation for like 13 years. So because of that, like because he hasn't been able to like meet with other people, like he hasn't shaped his identity very well.
Okay.
So because of that, like his personality is it's a bit of a blank slate.
Okay.
But at the same time, like you can, but I don't know, like maybe I don't maybe I like him because he has. I mean, I guess that's a serious and the philosophical side of things. One thing that Genshin has taught me is that I like my characters a bit unhinged.
Okay.
They need to have they need to have very clear imperfections.
Okay.
Yeah, so like so I guess like Ibarra from Ensemble Stars as well. Like he's selfish, he's manipulative, he's a jerk in like almost every sense of the word. But he knows that he's a jerk and he owns it. Like he strongly insists like this is who I am. This is not a product of all the suffering that I went through because like he grew up as a child soldier before he started running a business when he was like in middle school. But he strongly demands but like he really doesn't like it when people say that oh like he was such a nasty person because you know you suffered so much in the past, blah blah blah. Like he really hates that, and like he wants and like he really like owns up to the fact that he's a jerk because he is a jerk. Yeah.
No, that's good. Like, what is it? That's like almost a good amount of like, not overwhelming pride, but I think that's a good amount of pride because like,
Mm,
what is it? I think even again, he may be unhinged and things like that, but like not letting your bad parts of your life define you and kind of like even going forward in spite of that. That's decent. Like that's a decent lesson
mm,
almost.
and I think for me at least that made me like I guess like because everyone has flaws inside and obviously I'm very well aware of my own flaws, but I guess like that kind
Mhm.
of comforted me. That was like a bit comforting. Like he's okay with his own flaws. Like he owns his flaws. And he's like
Yeah, yeah.
I'm a jerk. Like if like anyone who cares can like get out. Like I don't care. I'm not gonna improve. Suck
Mm-hmm.
it. Whereas actually actually I mainly realized this because of Child in Genshin.
Mm.
Because he's because like duality because like for him like duality is such a big part of his character. Like
Right. Right.
he loves violence and
Mm-hmm.
like he just lives because he just likes fighting.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like he cares for his family so much.
Mm-hmm.
So then, at least for me, like that, like him being unhinged but also having that really soft side. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah.
I remember watching an interview of his voice actor, of his Japanese voice actor, who's like, because they ask the voice actors like generic questions like, what was your first impressions of Genshin?
Mm-hmm.
What are your impressions of the character? And so on and so forth. But for the impressions of the character, he said that like, oh, like he like on the front side he's really smiley, but on the inside he's really scary. And like while he really loves fighting, he also really loves his family. And when he's like, wow, this character is he's designed so unfairly. I can't dislike him. Actually, Dolly's Japanese voice actor said, like while he has that like front of like like he's wise and he knows so much, like there's also that side of him that's also kind of careless and
Yeah. Yeah. He's just.
it's that
Yeah.
gap.
Yeah. That's true. That element definitely exists in Zhongli. Is that like he's just oblivious to some certain things, so certain like usually human things he's just oblivious to, or like he doesn't like double check kind of thing. Cause like
Yeah, no,
the
and this
running
whole
gag quote unquote is that he's broke, but he's not really broke. He just forgets his money.
yeah. I mean, there was a time where he did forget, but
Yeah. He
that was
does treat you to a restaurant once.
yeah,
Like he did not forget his money then. Like he's not dirt broke like Mona. Mona is dirt broke. Like
yeah,
he is just like he's sometimes he just like forgets certain things.
yeah. And I guess there's also, but yeah, the voice actor was like, oh, there's also this side of him that's like careless and how do I say it? I can't remember the second adjective he used, but then they were like, oh, like this gap, that's what makes him so adorable. I'm like, oh, come on, I'm like, oh, I kind of, yeah, mm. Yeah, I like unhinged. Yeah, character needs to be unhinged in some way, like clear imperfections. At least for me, like characters that have clear imperfections are characters that I've latched onto
They're
the
definitely more
hardest.
interesting than like the generic main character who just always does good things, and you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes those characters kind of come off as super boring, at least for me.
Mm. Actually, I have a friend who really likes the whole like protagonist superhero trope,
Mm.
which is really interesting.
That's what I like.
Oh yeah,
The
Oni,
whole
what's your favorite? Like, what are characters you lean more towards? Like, are there any like shared attributes between your favorite characters?
I would say like the superhero trope. I kind of like that, but I also like sort of like a renegade like type of trait. Like they're seen like a bad guy, but really they're like a good guy.
The anti-hero.
And yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I kind of like stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to Chung, apparently I like traps.
Oh my god. Oh, you didn't know he was a guy. You thought it was a girl.
I did. Yeah. Because my whole thought when I picked Chung was like a bitch with a cannon. That's
No, yeah, I say that is a man.
oh yeah, I found that later on when I did my first job change.
Oh, man, that's funny. Okay. Is that it for that question?
I think so, yeah.
Hello, Nani, by the way. You want to go on to the... What was that? Go ahead.
Okay.
Apparently I do like traps.
Unintentionally. Do you want to go on to the guides question?
Sure.
Yeah. Uh, so this one says some questions about guides. So, do you appreciate an in-depth explanation into all of the kinds of skills, or should only gimmicks usages that aren't obvious at first glance be mentioned?
Hmm.
Hmm.
I have my stat.
That was an
My
insane
stat.
right there.
My stance on this one is a bit because on one hand, like a guide, I guess it really depends on what kind of guide you're making. But all of this is under the assumption that you're trying to buy a comprehensive guide, and it's not just a quick.
Mm-hmm.
These are skills you just bring. Um, because I guess the thing is like there's a balance between making a guide comprehensive while
Mm-hmm.
also making sure that you don't waste space putting in info that people can find on a wiki, for
Right.
example.
Like, okay, personally for me, not making guides but using guides, I personally just like the these are my skills that I use. These are a little bit of an explanation of their more complicated things or things you won't realize early on, and then just go with that information and figure out the character for myself. Because
Mm.
just me in general. Again, I don't like to play alts too often, but one of my favorite things to do when I am playing alts is kind of figuring them out. Like when I was first playing Noah and picking up Noah and Liberator, figuring out how his moon phase system worked, figuring out how Obsidian Moon worked, that was really fun, and I really enjoyed that.
Mm.
So, I mean, that's just me
I
personally.
think it. No, I think it's fair, especially because you're coming from the perspective of someone who's very well versed in the game already.
Mhm.
So I feel like for those kinds of people, like they really just want like here's a quick skill set. Here's
Mhm.
like a simple. Here's kind of how you should rotate your skills.
Mhm.
Go
Mhm.
learn the intricacies of it. Have fun.
Yeah.
Whereas whereas I feel like a newer player would appreciate a little more detail. Like say for
Mhm.
example,
Mhm.
might go to a skill set and I tell you this skill is good, and then they'll just go, but why? And
Yeah.
then yeah, so sometimes like so even though that information might be really really obvious to us, like at least like if your intended audience is a newcomer, then I think it's worth the time. But at the same time, some people prefer different target audiences. So
Yeah.
mm,
I will say though, I do love, like, again, this might be a me personally thing. I do love when people talk about or at least give a one word sentence on every skill that exists, like on
mm,
that character. Because just hearing people's like quick thoughts about like don't ever like people being like don't ever use this ever, like you're an idiot if you use this, or like always use this, always keep this on your skill bar. This is the best button. Like I actually like that a lot.
mm.
Just so I know like if I want to like bounce between some things or like
Like
oh there do I
what
have
I want,
options here? Yeah.
yeah.
Y- What's the absolute trash? Like it is good to know what absolute trash is.
Escape skill. Okay.
Oh yeah, PVE escape skill or ground impact on Nova. I don't know why that exists.
no,
I literally don't.
no.
They revamped it.
Um,
I don't know why. Just delete it.
that's true. Replace it with something better.
Yeah.
Like anyway, um, yeah, pretty much. Hmm. Yeah, I guess that was more of like a personal. Now that I
Mhm.
think of it, that was more of a personal question than anything because I guess like the answer to that question really does change depending on how familiar you are with the game.
Mhm. I think. Do I appreciate? I guess if I'm making it, I can definitely see because I've never made a fully extensive guide to Nova just because like that's not the type of teacher I am, at least for
Mm,
me. The type of teacher I am is I'll like I said, I'll teach you the general way to play this character, the general best things, and then like, almost
right.
like throw you into the deep end in sort of sense. Like
Yeah.
I'll tell you how to swim, but then I'll throw you in the deep end kind of thing,
Mm.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair way to approach it, especially
Mhm.
because like there's so much. I think with Nova not so. I think Nova not so much as other classes, but
Mhm. Yeah,
there are
Nova
definitely some.
is more straightforward, I feel.
Yeah, but if you're comparing it to like Blue and where it's kind of like what
Yeah, you
skills I
can't
use,
really do
it
that.
it depends.
Yeah.
No, it's good for somebody.
Mhm.
Yeah, at least yeah. Again, Nova's like what you said. Nova's pretty straightforward, and
Yeah, the thing with Nova is the difficulty comes with you being comfortable in the situations that he puts himself in, compared
yeah,
to figuring out how
this
to
is what
play
I
him.
use.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you need to be okay with being at half health. You need to be okay with like positioning your skills. Like that's literally the nuance with him.
yeah. You also kind of have to be okay with sitting there for 5 years and getting your prominence.
Yeah, that's another thing. That's definitely another thing that you gotta just get used to. Like yeah, that's the difficulty with Nova. Just like not immaculating. Just being just being in that situation where that's okay. Less than like this is the skill rotation you use. This is what you had to do. Then do this and this. It's like it's just kind of like use bursting. Be at half health. Use skill. More or
Kaboom!
less.
That's Nova 101.
Yeah.
With CC, you always have to be comfortable being like a support. Like
Mhm.
yeah, there is tasks where you could do like damage, but like with CC to me, it doesn't just fit of just being just damage. Like
Radiant Soul's the same way too. Like you just gotta be
yeah,
okay with being support.
yeah, you just have to always be okay with being support. Like ever since Rapid Guardian was a thing, like it's that's just your destiny, just being support.
When to well, at least with CC though, like when to use it and like how to use it, that's definitely a big thing to consider.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Because if you don't get
like
your party members with it, then like it's almost a waste.
yeah.
Cool.
I think we're done with that question.
No, that's the first part of that question.
Oh, that's
So
right.
the next part is video versus text. Which do you prefer and why? Um,
I prefer video.
it's I don't know.
I like being shown
Uh huh.
what happens like if you use the skill or what happens if you do like this server strategy other than reading
Mhm.
said strategy or like the move or whatever that move would do or whatever like that. I like being shown like
Okay.
that. I don't know. It's just like I have an attention span and I don't like reading that much. If I could be shown it, cool. If I have to read it, dog.
I think for me, when it comes to Elsword, I think text because again, what is it? The experience of the player I think matters. So I feel like I understand like if someone explained it to me, like I would pick up everything else. But I think for other games like Genshin, for example, I'd rather video guides just because like I have yet to fully grasp like how to maybe fully do a combo like or cancel something or like certain terms people might use or like how to use certain things. Like maybe I wouldn't understand it completely. So I think if I once I understand the game more, text is fine. But if I don't fully understand the game yet, I'd prefer video.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Because for me, I vastly prefer text. And I
Mm.
think for things that, I mean, of course, like there are, of course, like sometimes like it's a lot easier to explain something by just by showing it.
Mhm.
But in those cases, I think what you can do is you can have like a text, like a mostly text guide, and have like little like video snippets,
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
okay, this is what this technique looks like. Insert like I don't know, like a 10-second clip, and
Mhm.
then like yeah. So at least like for me, why I like text so much, and why I like try to, I actually like actively try and avoid video if I can, especially like this is only because with text I can set my own pace as to how I want to read it if it makes any sense. Like say for example like there's a part in which I really just want to read over and over again. Reading over and over again is faster than me playing the same video section 5 seconds, 5 seconds, listening to the guy talk over and over again. I don't know whether that makes sense. But I don't know why that being able to set my own pace is so important to me. Like maybe it's because I get impatient, and then luckily maybe the guy's going on slowly, and I'm just like just speed up, come on, get to the stuff that I want. So maybe I'm just really impatient.
Maybe
But
that's true. With the text guy, you can go at your own pace.
yeah, you can skip, and it's a lot easier
To skip,
to
yeah.
skip to parts that you want. And I think it just generally takes less data as well. Like, so for example, if I'm out and I'm on my phone, I want to like, for whatever reason, I'm bored and I want to read a guide. I
Yeah,
can just
yeah.
read it or loading the video. I mean, videos can definitely be nice in terms of like graphics and being able to show examples as well.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, there's text, and I think especially, and I think with video, it can especially be impeding if maybe I'm in a situation where I can't use my earphone, where I can't like use audio, or like I don't have my earphones with me, and say like I say the video guide is just someone talking, like there's no
Yeah.
text,
Mm-hmm.
then I'll just be like, hold hands in the air, I can't. What's happening? So yeah, that's why I like text.
Oh man, you know what I thought of? Like something YouTube has added recently is if
Mm.
you put timestamps in your description, it chunks out the video. Like that was a
Yeah.
really nice update they did for YouTube.
Oh, what do you mean by chunks? Oh, as in like the video, as in like the little like video
Timer.
bar
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I have it on a lot of the Two and a Half
Oh,
Crows episode whenever I have time to timestamp them. Yeah, if you just scroll, like you just put your mouse on the time slider, it'll tell you which each of the categories are, and you can just click at that point in the video.
oh,
It's really
that's a
nice.
shot. Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
I use that when I watch my favorite segment on one of the podcasts that I did with Crow. Like yeah, about Gilgamesh.
Yeah, the Gilgamesh part. Yeah.
Yeah,
Have you seen that episode, Sky?
No, I have not.
It's a pretty good episode.
you should go watch it. It's a treat.
Do you scream?
I don't.
Okay.
Oni and Crow do kind of. But not to spoil it, but yeah, I'll say that much. It's the episode that has Gilgamesh in the thumbnail.
Okay, I'll keep it.
It has Gilgamesh
Uh,
and someone else in the thumbnail, but yeah, it was a pretty good episode. Okay, cool.
you should just go to that segment where I'm just yelling at Crow.
Okay.
I can't
Uh,
imagine it.
shall we go into the next part of this question here?
Yes, we could.
In general, how much should be left up to the reader to learn from experience, and how much should the guide maker tell people?
I think, Meteor, I think you've answered this question.
Kind of, yeah. I think it
Yeah.
depends on general experience in the game, like specifically Elsword. Like,
Um, it honestly depends on how much you want to put in.
mm-hmm,
Hey, like it doesn't matter. It like well to me like if I'm like reading it, it doesn't matter how much you put into it as long
mm-hmm.
as I can understand it.
Right, right.
But,
Oh, okay.
like, so like it could lead to like 15 minutes, 30 minutes, or an hour. But like as long as like you're teaching me something
Mm-hmm,
about like the character or like the place about it or anything like that, I don't care.
mm-hmm.
So,
Oh, okay.
so it just honestly depends on them, like on how long they want to do it, and if it would be like beneficial to how long they do it.
Mm.
Okay. Interesting, interesting. Yeah, yeah, that's definitely true. It's like how in depth do you want to go? Like how much do you want to talk about, kind of thing. Like that's definitely an important factor to consider.
Mm.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah, I think my response is similar to that. Although I strongly believe that you should at least give the basics, and
Mm-hmm.
then how much beyond the basics you want to give can be kind of like up to people. I
Yeah.
prefer to give a little more than the basics, so then like people kind of begin to know how to approach. It's how do I say it? It's kind of like say I give you a new math formula, and then
Mm-hmm.
I give you an example like problem that I've solved, and
Mm-hmm.
then I write down all my working out for the problem, and then I go, okay, here's another. Okay, and now I've given you some clues as to how you can tackle this kind of problem. Now here's a new problem. Do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess for me, like I'd rather like teach a little bit beyond the basics, so then they kind of like know how to approach the beyond the basics bit, and then after that, then I just let them run free because at least like I believe that learning through experience is the most fulfilling way to
Yeah.
learn.
Yeah, I agree with that. I will say too, speaking of guides specifically for Elsword, I think it also is good to include at least approaching, like you were speaking about approaching the different aspects of this game, because how you approach clearing is usually very different from how you approach bossing, and how you approach big bossing is sometimes very different from how you approach small bossing, depending on how your class is, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that would definitely be something like that is worth mentioning in my opinion.
Mm.
And PvP if you want to go there. PvP is a whole different beast, but yeah.
Yeah. I
And
think
the
it's
whole
also I think it's also really important to, in a guide at least, to talk about, or at least I find important in at least giving some kind of description onto the different environments that you can have in the game and how the class kind of interacts with them, and it makes any sense. So
Mhm.
say for example, like bossing in a regular dungeon versus bossing in Birth.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
in Birth, it's like, well, don't press, make sure you know the boss, don't press Giga at the wrong time unless you die, kind of thing.
Mhm.
So, I think that kind of information would be really insightful. Like, especially if I'm starting out on a new class. Say I'm raising a new class as a DPS and I go, hey, I want to be a Birth DPS.
Mhm.
And then I like go in and die, then go, oh no, how do I tackle this? So
That's I know that's a problem. Like we're getting a little to get a little bit meta. I know it's definitely a problem from certain people who buy accounts. I know, cause
yep.
you can definitely tell when someone buys an account if you look at their gear and then look how much damage or how they play. You can definitely tell.
I
Yep.
don't. I honestly don't like that whole term of buying someone account
Yeah.
because it's just weird because it's like you have to use their email and their password that they set up for you to use that account.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't like it. I don't like it either. Anything about it, but people will do it. People will do it.
That's just
Mm,
Mhm.
yeah.
And usually don't play. They don't play very well.
hmm
Mm,
All right. We go with that section.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So this is the last section for the kind of this guide kind of little tangent here. When you have a guide maker who hasn't experienced all sorts of situations with the class, not only content but gear level, the class's previous meta, strength and weaknesses, especially if the character used to be weaker in the past, how does this negatively impact the guide? And does it matter in the grand scheme of things? It Man, that's definitely that's probably the best. That's probably the best thing and the most nuanced thing when it comes to this stuff. Like, in my opinion, if you have that sort of background information, I think the guide would be better. But I guess I wouldn't necessarily say it's a requirement. If that makes sense.
I
Mm.
think it would be an requirement because the whole like the whole gear thing um I had it but then I lost it. Hold
Hmm.
on.
I think. Oh,
But
maybe I'll try.
I wanted to say like having the appropriate gear sounds like something that you should worry about in the end game of your character. Because it sounds like it for like a guide just like for something like you're beginning to learn about this
No,
character.
no, no.
Learning about
No, we're talking about the guide makers. The guide makers.
the guide maker.
Yeah.
Like, say for example, I'm writing a Nova guide, but I have not done Birth yet. Say for example, How much does this negatively impact the guide? It
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
I don't think it matters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Interesting.
Fair.
Because I think for me, I definitely think it matters to a degree because I definitely have spoken with people who, it seems like they're trying their best, but they are talking straight out their butt and don't really know what they're talking about because they haven't been to that highest level of the game and haven't experienced their class at the highest level of DPS or at least semi highest level of DPS. And they're talking about things and trying to explain things to people that either are incorrect, are not fully conclusive, or straight up wrong. And it's just like they're speaking with such confidence, but it's just like this might be bad advice and this might not help people. I think that can actually be a bad thing in my opinion.
But I think, like Meadle said, to an extent, like say for example, if I write an NI guide and I've never done Birth, but I don't ever write about Birth, then like it's not really.
I think that's fine. Yeah, I think
Protocol.
right, and I think it definitely depends on like the degree of
what
what
kind
you're
of thing is
talking about.
that?
Yeah, like
And I think
it's
so
almost like I
this
guess
is
credentials
cool.
maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah, like it's credentials. Like if you
it's
have
nice.
yeah, if you have more credentials, like if you're known for playing at high level, then I'm going to trust you more with how you're explaining how to play things.
Hmm.
Yeah, and but it's just like but at the same time to counter that, just because you're not the highest level of the game doesn't mean you don't know how to play your character. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just have more confidence in you that you know what you're talking
Hmm.
about.
Okay, that sounds fair.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I agree with that.
so since I was one who wrote this question, the thing that I specifically mentioned in regarding the class previous meta
Mhm.
is because like, do you remember back in the day when Final Enhance didn't exist and Ignition Code Incinerator used to be like twice as slow as what it was now? It was what it
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
now. Yeah. So since like I think like sometimes I think about how I learned how to function in a party as a class that had pretty bad clearing because like due to like not I guess due to slow class times. And I
Mhm.
kind of thought about like how because I was tossed into the deep end regarding this because Nishikoro was so slow back in the day. Like
Mhm.
I thought that I received a kind of a unique learning experience that newer players today would not have because like simply because Mission grows faster now. Like there's a lot more, and whereas like before when I played it when it was slower and then got the speed up, it's
Mhm.
kind of like I already had all that experience underneath my belt, and then I could now push my advantage, push my current skills even further. I guess it's kind of like PvPing. It's kind of like PvPing with lag, and
Yeah.
then you take that and getting used to the lag, and then you take that lag away. Like those people who have played on lag would have like learned how to like as in like their catch confirmings have to be so much like better and tighter than
Mhm.
people without lag because they have to deal with lag like making their opponents slip out and everything. So I guess it's kind of like that,
Yeah,
I mean I
I kind
guess
of see the similarity you're making here.
yeah, and I mean personally I think it doesn't matter. I think it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, but I
Yeah. Mhm.
think that having that kind of skill and knowledge is a really can add a really nice touch to the guide depending on the guide writer as well.
Mhm. Yeah, I think one definite thing you need is I think because a big thing is just like you definitely need to be either skilled or have experience in what you're trying to teach. Like Click brought up something interesting. She said me teaching people how to freeze and saying Warren's man says like what is it? You can teach people how to freeze on Blue Hand, for example, but you don't need to be like the top DPS Blue Hand to be able to teach people how to freeze. If you can freeze well, you know what I mean? Like
Oh yeah, that's
yeah,
true.
if you are skilled at doing something and then you try to teach somebody how to do that something, I think that's completely fine. I think my
Hmm.
only problem when it comes to skill and things like that is like if you're more on the casual side of the character, like maybe you don't play this character too often, or like you haven't like you haven't tried your best to like optimize their stats or be very competitive, then trying to make a guide or trying to speak from place of authority for that character, I think that's when problems occur.
Biggest problem.
Yeah, because then
Hmm.
you're applying your no offense to the people who do this, but like you're applying essentially your limited knowledge about the character uh, to people who don't know anything, and I think that's harmful. Bro, I give people false info. I was just using you as a positive example. I wasn't saying you specifically. You just brought up something that didn't have to do with damage, and I was just talking about damage in general.
Hmm. I think it'd be like me teaching people how to raid support on Blue One, but then I have some amount of confidence in teaching people how to raid support Blue One. But if you ask me how to DPS, I'd be like, uh, help.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Right,
don't
right exactly.
because
Right, right.
they play so differently that it's
Mhm.
like I'll just be like, I think you press this button. I think you press this button. Okay, go.
Mhm.
um,
And I think honestly, I think a lot of people do that when it comes to like, and sometimes we can't help ourselves. Like even I can't help myself talking about characters I don't know much about. Like sometimes I'll talk about in authority about the other Ravens, even though at the end of the day I really don't know too much about Raven Endgame. I know general things, but I don't know too much. And sometimes I accidentally will speak on authority about them when I don't know that much, when I'm honestly ignorant to them. Um,
hmm.
And it's like, that's a fault that I have, and it's definitely something bad in general. But what is it? uh, just realizing that, and I think people definitely, and again, even myself, you had to check yourselves on that, of just like, just being like, I'm just ignorant to this. I don't know what to do. Let me ask someone who has these higher credentials, who can do this. Like, let me ask a player who's done birth rate, who's top DPS in birth rate, like, you know, these questions, just so I can educate myself.
I think it also depends on where you're getting the information from. If
Yeah,
you're like,
yeah,
like
yeah.
say, for example, your experience. Like, say for example, like you might be in a situation where you're with a bunch of like, say, Rage Hearts mains, and they're
Mhm.
talking about all this stuff, and then you kind of absorb the knowledge through their discussion of Rage Hearts,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
then you give it to other people. Like, there's still that sense that you're not you're not experienced, so you
Yeah.
can't keep your
You're
so you
definitely
can't
missing
give
something, but yeah.
yeah, but you're basically just echoing what other Raycast mains have said. So you can go like, oh, like I don't play the class, but this is what I've heard from mains. Here you go, here's info.
Mm-hmm.
I think that can be okay, but then at the same time, that passes on the responsibility to the other top players. So if you're a
Mm-hmm.
top player, it's
Yeah.
and giving advice to people, it's a big responsibility.
Mm-hmm. Like, what is it? Like, this isn't such a big thing anymore, just because it's phased out because of birth rate. But Indomitable Will, I'm actually a big proponent against it. I've never
Mm,
really talked in detail like why, because as soon as I realized that Indomitable Will, in my opinion, is not a good build, birth rate kind of came in and kind of made it irrelevant anyway. So
yeah.
Birthright kind of did my job for me, kind of. But yeah, I'm actually a big proponent against it, just because I think it's an inconsistent build that doesn't work it doesn't work if you're playing with strangers, if that makes sense.
Yes.
I think if you're always playing with your friends, Indomitable Will is a great build. I think if you're playing with strangers a lot, it is a horrible build, in
Yeah.
my opinion, at
Uh,
least.
Actually, I think you were talking about this with
A
me like
little
some time
bit,
ago.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think you
I'll
asked.
talk about it here and
I think you
then.
asked me once. I think you asked me once, and then I was like, okay, X, Y, Z things,
Yeah, no,
and
I
then you
think,
were
yeah,
like,
that's when I was thinking about the build, because again, on paper, I think on paper, Indomitable Will
excellent.
is one of the strongest builds in the game. It's absolutely insane how much extra boss damage you get, but you're not, on paper doesn't include all these extraneous factors that
Yeah,
come with it.
definitely.
Like, honestly, in my opinion, like in my brutal honest opinion, if you want to do Indomitable Will build, do Oath of Ruin build. Like, I'm gonna be so honest.
Mm.
Like, I don't know. I feel like if you wanted to do that type of build, Oath of Ruin would do you better, because Nova's procking is weird, but it's not the worst, and you get that 50% extra crit damage increase.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just my thoughts with the
Uh,
Indom. Just because so many things work against you. Like, again, like I said,
yeah,
strangers not understanding how it works. Uh, things like rain and other skills that activate the overheat proc at the end of the skills. Every single potion in the game healing your HP. A
I
lot of
think it's also.
inconsistencies.
I think it's also got to do with parts. Like if you're like say you're like half asleep and you're like DPSing for whatever reason,
You had to be on
your
point, yeah.
yeah, your DPS is gonna take. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
back to the point on Oath of Ruin. I'm a very big advocate against Oath of Ruin in all situations PvE.
Mm-hmm.
But it's okay. It's okay. We can agree to disagree.
Yeah. No, again, like, that's only I'm only saying that because I'm looking at the eyes of Indomitable Will is such inconsistent that, like,
You might
if
as
you
well.
want to take that risk of inconsistency, take that risk of inconsistency with Oath of Ruin, where you can get better gains.
Mm,
Because I think Oath of Ruin is better gains, because you just get that extra crit damage increase, along with, again, the broken boss damage increase that you'll get for
yeah,
statting yourself.
that's true. But
Hmm.
I guess like what I don't like about Oath of Ruin is that it forces you to play around it. So you
Yep.
gotta like sit there and attack
Hmm.
for the proc. That reminds me. This was back when Oath of Ruin like first came out,
Hmm.
and then all the other. I think okay, Kay was telling this story once. So I think like almost all the other Chook mains were like, oh my god, Oath of Ruin is so great, blah. And then Kay said that like she sat there for 6 seconds pressing siege to proc the thing,
It wouldn't
and it
proc,
didn't
yeah.
proc. And she was like, no, I'm done. I don't like this title anymore. Bye.
That happened to me too, actually. Perky Phase 1, they for Harmony Festival they gave us Oath of Win, Oath of Ruin for free, right? Uh,
Mhm.
and I was just like, oh man, this is gonna be great, like 100% crit, like crit damage increase is gonna be broken. And again, I was just there mashing X. I'm just like proc, 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 proc. Okay, proc. Okay, now I can do skills. Oh, it's gone. Proc, proc, proc. It just got annoying. I was just like, no, this is not worth it. It's just not worth it.
Yeah.
Also, ooh.
Yeah, that's my bad. That's my bad. Um, I will say though that so, like speaking about that, I think maybe this is another thing that like made people so happy about the Ruin. It was a different build. I think a lot of times in Elsword, people, I think one of the problems with Elsword is that builds are so homogenous. There's not much variety. Like when you want to do DPS anyway, when you want to do DPS, there isn't much variety when it comes to, I don't think there's ever been variety really, to be honest with you. Indomitable Will kind of came in and was just like, hey, you have this option. If you wanted to, do this wacky build where you can just be low HP and have a lot more boss damage, you can like take this risk and do that. Like, I think that was really cool that you can do that because a lot of builds in Elseworlds are really, really homogenized. Like, just because, and I understand why. Because it's just like, if there is way to get biggest damage, you do way to get biggest damage. Like,
Yeah, like no brain.
like I ain't gonna do like strength stacking or like try to make a strength build when bravery build's right there doing more damage. There's no reason.
Yeah.
There's literally no reason.
Yeah, pretty much.
But it is a bit sad that everybody's kind of playing the same. How would they mend that? I'm not sure, but yeah.
Yeah.
Like the best that you get is people who classes that have the what's the word? Luxury. Classes that had the luxury of like either stacking one skill or another skill, and like that being their main damage dealing skill. Like some classes I know had the luxury of that. I can't remember any off the top of my head, but I know some classes do have the luxury of that.
Maybe Afar, because at least what comes to mind is Spiritual Dragon is usually the go-to to stack.
Mm-hmm.
But I know Devotic stacked Orchid for because he just liked it and he's sitting here dealing big damage and in birth. So I'm wondering whether actually is Devotic's gear perfect? I feel like it is. Yeah.
I'm surprised y'all doing trash while talking. I don't like that.
Yeah, because I mean, well, at least for me, like when it comes to podcasts, or like especially when I'm talking, and what I'm saying is being broadcasted, I prefer to be able to have my 100% like mental attention onto the podcast.
Fair.
Because I know that sometimes like while I'm playing, I'm a voice call. Like sometimes like maybe I'll try to handle a mob back there, or like maybe I'm like trying to clean up or trying to kill something that's like not dying, and then I'll like talk and then I'll just cut myself off mid sentence because my attention suddenly switched to the thing that's happening in game, and then after I just have to go, and then after I have to try to like pick up my train of thought again, and so yeah, I just want to avoid having that happening.
Fair.
That's why I don't play a lot. That's why I don't play while I podcast. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but I say like I don't personally mind like. If this was drop rate, I definitely would have been doing a dungeon while talking and podcasting. But I don't like EXP grinding, so I just don't like trash.
But yeah, thanks for reminding that 2 times XP existed actually, because usually on 2 times XP days I try to go for at least 5 hours. But today I just completely forgot.
It was you know what the thing is? It's not the Noah second path pre-event. It's the Noah event. But this is the first weekend that we're getting it. We're getting this weekend, and then I believe the next weekend we're getting double drop. But yeah, that's why it caught me blindsided too, because this is the Noah event that started when Noah first came out, and it just happened that these weekend events are kicking in. Yeah, because someone was talking about double EXP, and I was just like, huh, double EXP? Where is that? And I was looking forever on the second path pre-event page, and it just wasn't there, and I was just like, what are people talking about? And then I looked, yeah, then I looked in the Noah event itself, and it was like there's a tab for weekend events. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause like the first couple weekend events were like things for like Noah, and then like some potion things, and then these
Hmm.
next 2 weeks are for double EXP and then drop rate next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, but usually I'm aware of what events are going on, but this one kind of blindsided me a little bit.
I think it
I'm
also.
I'm
Was
I
that?
gonna
think
get
it
off.
also depends.
I
Oh,
thought,
okay.
Okay, see you, man.
All right. See you. Thanks for coming.
yeah, no problem.
Okay, so we have 10 more minutes, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I wonder whether me forgetting like comes a lot down to my guild being pretty like early semi-active in game,
Mm.
because I mean like the people that do grind.
Mhm.
Well, I guess I should have got caught on the hint because we have a channel where we have to log all of our, because like some of us have contract privileges,
Mhm.
but the village comes with the responsibility that we have to log all of our hours on there. So then like I saw people were logging, and then I don't know why I didn't catch the hint that maybe it's a 2 times EXP day.
Oh
So
yeah. Yeah, like what is it? That's how I found out. Is just that people in my guild were talking about like the double XP is like, are you guys gonna grind? You want to grind with me? And I was like, wait, there's double XP? Where? I didn't hear about this. Yeah, so that caught me off guard. Usually the website's pretty good with that, but again, it's
it was
yeah,
pretty
it was the Noah event. I didn't know.
Yeah, this is like one of those moments when like people when like if you get annoyed, you get like a bit annoyed at people who don't read, and then you kind of pull the same mistake yourself.
Yeah. In
It's
my
like, alright.
defense, it's pretty hidden on the website. You know, you had to go to the Noah page, and then you had to go to the weekend events tab in the Noah page.
Mm.
And it's like the Noah event started like almost 3 weeks ago, and the Noah second path free event started last week. And so I was like, I don't know, I lost track. What do you? Real quick tangent in the couple minutes that we have. What do you think about the website, like the Elsword website? Do you think it's formatted pretty well, or what?
I don't know. I've never really thought about that actually.
I think it's decently solid, but I do wish that like there was like a on the website there was like the timers that we have in game. Like if on the website itself, I could go to the website and be like, okay, is Drbaki or Grotto open, and is there like a double XP or double drop going on?
Mm.
I think that'd be kind of neat if like on the
Yeah.
website there was just like a little Drbaki icon or a Grotto icon whenever those are available. Like if there's double XP,
Yeah.
there's a ×2 button just on the main page, like on the website main page. I think that would have been nice.
I think it'd be really handy.
Yeah.
I guess it kind of on the Discord. I think it would work as well, but I don't know how to work on, because Discord you can't really, because obviously we don't want to be pinging everyone like,
Of
hey,
course.
there's
So
two
yeah,
times
yeah,
EXP,
yeah, yeah.
hey, there's 2 times drop. But I wonder if there's like a stat whether we can have up somewhere, because I know that
A
Discord
roll
like pings.
or something. Yeah.
Yeah, like because I know the Discord pings people whenever there's a like whenever we have like an update coming up, or whether there's main, or whether it goes down for main. Like I think sometimes when it goes down an emergency main,
Mhm.
used to do pings, yeah. So
Mhm.
that happens.
Oh man, another thing too would be nice is like just something on the main page is just like I know people in like every single Elsword Discord that exists under the sun, like people will always like put Hina rotations there anyway, but having it be on main site would be kind of nice. I don't know.
Mm.
Like I don't know. If main site was just like a kind of almost hub for your quick source of information, I think that'd be kind of nice. I don't think it needs it. I think the website is fine, but I think if those things were there, it would be better. That makes sense.
Mm.
Because sometimes,
So,
again, I'll have to scrounge through event pages to find out like what's going on. You know.
yes. It's an unfortunate reality, but
Would they ever announce the winners for that sweepstakes, the Noah sweepstakes? Speaking of event pages.
I think they usually take a while to announce things like those.
Okay, I know they just ended. Like the submissions ended on Wednesday, so maybe they're checking all the winners because it was a sweepstakes thing. Like you had to make a tweet on Twitter and things like that. So maybe they're checking that. I'm not sure. I wish they would ship the sweepstake stuff to Emu Land. Oh, Australia. I think
Yes,
I think that's hard.
probably. Oh no, actually, I think I'm not sure whether it's for these ones specifically or for another one, but they said that international shipping was a thing, or it could be, or maybe
Oh,
I could
for
be
what?
wrong.
For this one or another one?
I can't remember. All I remember
Okay.
was that something about international shipping being a thing, and I'm like, because usually for international people they just give catching equivalent,
Yeah,
whereas
yeah,
on whereas you'd actually get more money if you like got a proxy, mailed it to the proxy, and then had them send it over to you, and
yeah.
then you like sold it online or something.
Right, right.
Yeah, imagine the Eve body pillow. Like if you sold that Eve body pillow, like how much would you
Oh,
make?
this thing? I don't know. Good question. But I'd say I assume it's like one of less than 10
Yeah, you could
because
sell that and get some. You could
probably,
get some stocks. Depends
probably.
on
I
the
don't know.
kind
Claire said she wanted to buy it, but I ain't selling it just because it's the only elsewhere merch I have. Because, what I say, again, trying to make this quick. In my opinion, when they put that stuff on the elsewhere Amazon site, I didn't want any of it. Nothing of it was Raven. I didn't want any of that.
of.
Like Chung Umbrella, miss me with that. Like Elsewhere tote bag. Like I guess Raven was on there, but he wasn't the only one on there. Give me Raven merch. I buy that day one.
And even some like fan art, some fan merch is also like pretty.
It's up and down. It's a gamble almost if it's good or bad with the fan merch.
That's true. Like you have some pretty questionable
Yeah, there's definitely some
content.
questionable ones on Amazon too. Definitely seen some questionable stuff.
Hmm.
But I want to support the official. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Like
Especially because like they take the time to like go out of the way, go to the supplier and be like, "Hey, we want X number of stuff to be made," and then they gotta
yeah, but it's just like
meet them.
and like I wanted to support them so much, but I was just like I don't want any of this stuff, but I want to support the shop. It's just
Yeah,
difficult.
it's unfortunate.
I said tote bag, not toe bag. Click. Stop it. Oh my gosh.
Radio terms. It's like Oh, do you remember when they had the art book in the Korea? Was that the Korea? Was it the
Oh
Korean?
yeah. It was a giveaway. It was sweepstakes. Yeah,
Oh
it was
God!
right after Third Job came
Holy
out, and that art book was a big deal because it had Third Job beta designs. But
yeah,
thankfully it's online now. But oh, what a
holy
sweepstake! Yeah,
yeah.
that was a great thing to give away because man, some of these Third Job beta designs are so good. Shout out to Rage Hearts who lost a great design just because they wanted to take his shirt off. Ugh. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not complaining.
I am. One of them was so cool with humans fully decked out in like armor almost.
Oh, I mean, I don't think Crow or Zach are
Yeah.
complaining either about the
I
loss of their
know, gotta
shirt.
have the fan service. But I don't know. It was so cool. It was like almost like Nasad armor kind of things. It was really looked really nice. He still had a hole, like a diamond shaped hole in the chest, you know?
Okay, oh, also had a chest window. Okay.
Yeah, he had a chest window, but he's just shirtless as Rage Hearts, so more fan service, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's exactly how it works. I mean, let's be real. What gets you stocks?
I mean, yeah, you're right. I leave that for
Yeah,
the costumes. I don't know. The
true.
official job art. Let's keep that cool. I don't know. I'm just glad Nova has great art. The Nova beta designs were worse, in my opinion. Have you ever seen the beta
Hmm.
designs for Third Job?
Actually, no, I didn't so.
Oh man, we'll do that. Maybe we'll do that next podcast where just look at the beta designs and be like, did they pick the right choice or not? I think that'd be fun.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think so.
yeah, I think that'd be fun. All right. I think that pretty much wraps it up, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so too.
All right. Yeah, guys. Thanks for hanging out. This was 2.5 Crows, episode 19. Oh man, what do we call this episode? I don't know.
Oh, great question. Let me just try and remember what we talked about.
We talked about the support patch a lot, to be honest.
Okay, that's true. And then we talked about the questions.
Specifically the guide question a lot. I know we talked about that a lot.
Yes.
This might be having something to do, I think, about in post. All right, but yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to come back every single Saturday, 9 p.m. EST, For 2.5 Crows, ask any questions that you like. Episodes will always be uploaded on Monday right after. You can ask questions there on the YouTube as well. Yeah, from me and Sky, we'll see you guys next week. Goodbye.
Yep.
Bye.
Goodbye. Thanks for coming. Bye.
Oh wow, Crow just woke up. That's hilarious. Like literally, she just woke up. That's great. She just
Wait,
messaged.
we're still live, right?
Yeah, we're still live. Yeah,
Okay.
it's hilarious. That's so funny. She just woke up. Wow, Crow. Bye. Okay. Anyway, yeah. Bye.
Bye.